All right, welcome to another White Lion video. We got the camera on the right side up now. Today we're going to talk about tib anterior activation. Tib anterior is a muscle in the front of the shin here relative to the calf. So they kind of work opposite to each other, the calf and the tib anterior. First we're going to talk more as it relates to running, because toe running, barefoot running has become a lot more popular in the last few years. So we're going to talk about the mechanics between those muscle groups and how it differs between a toe land or a forefoot land versus a heel plant. Okay, so standard running or traditional running, we would land on our heel and then roll through the toe and drive off to the next step or the next stride. When I land with my heel down first, okay, I have a strong eccentric activation. Eccentric just meaning the muscle's getting longer as it's contracting. Okay, and it's the tib anterior muscle on the front of my shin here that's responsible to control the toes down towards the floor or the road or wherever I'm running. And then I would step through and drive off through my calf or my gastroc, sending me off onto my next stride. I'll cut that part out. This is funny with the barbell. Okay, so where was I? All right, so driving through the toe into the next stride. And then I step through, land on the heel once again, and again there's that strong eccentric load through my tib anterior. This repetitive eccentric load, okay, through this tib anterior, which is not a very large muscle, is often attributed to that shin splint injury that we hear about with runners. Where you get that discomfort or that pain, that burning sensation through the front of the shin. That can largely be responsible for that injury. In opposition, we have people who get into barefoot running or toe running where they have a forefoot or a toe strike on the floor. That's their primary or their first point of contact. And then they lower the heel down and then drive off into their next stride. The difference here is when I land with my toe first, it's now my calf, okay? My big calf muscle at the back of my leg which controls the heel down, and then I step through and drive off through the calf again. Okay, so generally toe runners, what you'll find if you're just kind of playing around with it for the first time is you may not experience a lot of anterior shin pain in that tib anterior. You might get a lot of calf soreness just because you're working the calf, using the calf a lot more than you normally would in running. But if you look at the anatomy between, well, not so much my muscles, if we had DJ here you'd see it a lot better. If you look at the anatomy of the calf, it's very large, very bulky compared to the tib anterior. Okay, so arguably maybe more designed to handle that type of repetitive stress, or repetitive use, I should say, through a long distance running. Either way, lots of people still engage in the heel strike, which is great because we have footwear that accommodates that. And so we're just going to show some exercises using our monster bands to strengthen the tibialis anterior, and that may decrease your risk of shin splints, or maybe you've experienced shin splints recently and you want to strengthen that muscle group to get you back into running and not experience that pain again. So we're going to go over a tib anterior exercise using our monster bands. All right. So I'm going to demonstrate a tib anterior exercise using our monster band. I'm just going to use our purple band here and show a couple different ways that we can loop it around our foot so that it stays on and we get a fuller range of motion in the exercise. I could just wrap it around the top of my foot, kind of get appropriate resistance on the band by just sliding my body away from the anchor point and then pointing the toes down and pulling the toes up. As I pull the elastic in, that's going to activate my tib anterior on the front of my shin here. Okay. Now the problem with this setup is I can't really get full range of motion because if I point my toes down too far, that's just going to fall off the foot. So if I get a little creative on my anchor point, and all I'm doing is I'm going to loop the elastic into a loop here, so kind of a figure 8-ish pattern, and then fold it over, slide my foot inside the double loop, tighten it up, okay, and now I can get to a full range of motion and it won't slide off the foot. Again, get appropriate tension on the band, slide back further if you need more resistance, allow the toes to roll forward, pull the toe up, and now I'm going to work my tib anterior. And you'll feel that right on the front of the shin. So great exercise, especially if you do heel running. or you can strengthen the front of the shins to balance out your calf strength at all. If you want to check out any more of our how-to videos or using our equipment, just subscribe to the link below, and we'll see you on the next video.